1. The soles of MJ's boots echoing off the concrete driveway sounded like drum beats in his head, a raging metal death band soundtrack to his shit life. He reached his car, a black '68 Camaro convertible bought with blood money from his grandfather, and tossed his duffel bag in the back seat. "Don't tell me you're running away again." Her voice sparked chills up his back. MJ turned and looked, but could only see a cloud of cigarette smoke lingering under the garage light. "Stay out of my business," he said into the darkness. Her deep, sultry chuckle sank inside his ears and made him close his eyes. That laugh, so many nights. That laugh in the dark under the sheets. God, how he'd ached for her when she left. "I thought you quit smoking," he said despite himself. Why could he never walk away from her? Maddie slipped around the corner from the side of the garage and leaned against the door. He could just make out the faint red shine of her lips. Her dark hair loose around her shoulders, the predatory gleam in her eye. Old habits die hard. MJ let out a sharp laugh. "Not all of them." He opened the car door and got behind the wheel. There was no way he'd stay and get lured into her bed again. No way he'd go through that kind of torture when she took off on him. Never again. Maddie had been his addiction, his drug, and he intended to stay clean. Clean, but not sober. The only place he wanted to be was at the bottom of a bottle of Jack Daniels. He fumbled with his keys, giving her one too many seconds to cross the driveway and reach his car. "The first time you ran away," she said, laying her hands on top of his car door, "you got as far as Coach's house. That time it was my fault because I spent 2 weeks of our summer at sleepaway camp and abandoned you here alone. Is it my fault this time too?" Jesus, she was wearing that perfume, the one that smelled like vanilla and spice. He remembered that summer. 2 whole weeks without Maddie. She was the only bright spot in his life back then. His best friend before she became even more. His grandfather, Enzo Rocha, the puppet master, had kept MJ under his care and his thumb since he was born. MJ had been shipped away from nanny to private boarding school, then another boarding school, and another when he got kicked out for fighting. But he was never wanted under this roof, his grandfather's roof. This fucking mansion of a house where his grandfather would never even have had to see his face if he didn't want to. MJ's stays had been limited to short visits during summer and winter breaks. And Maddie had always been there. The house manager's daughter. 4 years older and wiser. 4 years more experienced. A college girl when he was in high school. It was Maddie who had taken his virginity and his heart. It was Maddie who had destroyed his trust and ruined him for any other girl. MJ's eyes roamed her face and down her body, the body that used to belong to him. His palms tingled with flesh memories of holding her breasts in his hands. The image of her naked was seared into his mind like it had been branded there. The way he made her sigh, the way he made her moan and whimper his name. His mouth watered, knowing exactly how she would taste, her lips, her skin, her... He had to stop himself. She wasn't his. She'd broken her promise. She'd left him. "Where are you going?" Maddie asked him. "Can I come along?" "My life is none of your business." MJ shot her a stony glare. "Why are you even here?" He threw up a hand to stop her from answering. "You know what? Never mind. I don't even care." He shoved the key into the ignition and fired up the engine. When she didn't step back from the car, he glanced up at her to find her staring down at him. He tried to look away, but couldn't. She'd always had a way of seeing inside him to the pain and hurt. She could always make it go away, and damn it, he needed her too. So he kept his eyes glued to hers like she was a fucking lifeline, until he felt something shift and crack inside him. Fucking Maddie. "You're not doing this to me again." He put the car in reverse, knowing it was too late. His words were a lie. Maddie slowly strolled into the backyard. She hated hurting MJ. The hurt in his eyes, mixed with anger and something close to loathing, was more than she could bear. She wrapped her arms around her stomach and took a few deep breaths to calm her nerves. She should have found somewhere else to go. Maddie laughed silently to herself.